end, and that we have an awful lot of people that ought to have health insurance, some of whom have it through don't have it for no fault of their own. Now I'm going to say two more things. The first is why I believe so strongly in this. When I was practicing medicine, this is probably about a to me who was known for, and she said that she was thirsty, losing urinate a lot. Turned out that diabetes. That was about by May that discontinued her. I don't think that, and somebody needs to do that. And the last thing to say will undoubtedly out the way I was that I President Obama's, including the public option. And has told you all the reason why. And now that up that hot potato, I'm going to sit down the same way I stood up and give this back to the guy whose district this is and who I think has done an outstanding job. And we'll start to answer some questions. Jim Moran.
Now the fun begins. All right, guys, now the fun begins. Gail Reuter. Gail, incidentally, is my office manager and scheduler, and she, so you oftentimes hear her voice when you call our office. Gail, we have 3 boxes here. We're going to pick the first question, and then we're going to announce the second so that people can make their way to the microphone to save time. So, okay. Now, the question says, the first question is, my brother lived in France for 10 years. Yeah, I don't see, oh, there it is. Sarah Stott. Sarah Stott. Sarah Stott? There's Sarah Stott. Why don't you read it, or you can paraphrase it yourself, Ms. Stott? Yeah. Let me just read the second name so that the second person can start coming up. The second person will be Brian Lawson. Okay, Sarah Stott.
My brother lived in France for 10 years. His doctor bills and medical prescriptions were paid for through the government system. He did not have to wait in line to see a doctor. Why in the U.S. are people afraid of such a system?
Look, change is hard. The reason that the Europeans have the system they have is because basically their healthcare system was destroyed during World War II, and it was put back together in a government by the government. The system in Britain was actually put in by one of the most conservative prime ministers in Britain's history, Winston Churchill. And the reason was that when the system was destroyed in the bombings, they commandeered all the hospitals and put them all together to try to get people through the war, and they did. And so they started from a different place. We started from an employer-based system because in our country we only were attacked twice, once in the Aleutians and once in the Hawaiian Islands. Our system was not destroyed, and the reason that our system is the way it is today is because a lot of employers were prevented from giving their employees wage increases during World War II because of inflation and because of wage and price controls, and they made it up to their employees by giving them more benefits. So we evolved an employer-based system in this country. The European countries involved a government-run system in their country because of 2 different circumstances. It is hard to change. A lot of this debate is about change. And the one thing that any doctor can tell you about change is that you never make real changes until the pain of staying the same exceeds the fear of change. And I think the pain of staying the same has exceeded the fear of change.
Well, that's what I mean. What a thoughtful, articulate response. And many people aren't fully familiar with that. Which is Brian Lawson? Brian Lawson. Yes, sir. Jessica Abramson is helping